Oh, okay.
Hey man, what you doing?
Doing some voiceover work on this Versa video.
A Versa? Why? Those things are terrible.
No. This one isn't like that, I promise. It's actually really, really fun. He's put a bigger engine in it, done suspension work. It's nuts. No, but seriously, just watch the video. You'll see the Versa. It's a phenomenal little car.
How?
Well, let me explain, Shallon. When you drive this car on the road, you get the feeling that its economy car roots are still there. Very, very simple inside. It's got no back seats, no carpet, very little in the way of sound insulation. It didn't have a whole lot of that beforehand. All the work that he has done to it has made it more fun in the curves, more fun to drive on the back roads, and it really is. It's responsive. It's alive. Jonathan has done an absolutely amazing job on suspension, on everything that he has done to this car has brought it up. It works. It's a good car. It still gets good gas mileage, and he can drive it back and forth to work every day because while it has the engine swap, it's a reliable engine. It's not something that you're going to have to worry about melting down on you at some point. When we look at a car like this, we have to understand that it was built for a reason. Now, if I just sit here and talk about how it's okay on the street, fun on the back roads all day, it's not going to give this car a fair shake. Now we go to the track. Now, after my first lap in the Versa, after those first fresh impressions, I realized that all those things that I thought were not so great on the street ended up being amazing on the track. This thing was built for this. It has a purpose. Jonathan told me that they were bleeding the clutch and having a few issues here and there. The clutch is very on-off, and I'm sure that'll get fixed later on to be a little more progressive, but it's on then off, and it's this little click noise. I'm not necessarily saying that's a terrible thing. Once you get used to it and learn how it works, it's so easy. You don't worry about the engagement point or the bite point, especially in launching. You just let it go. You rev it up to about 3K, let it go, and you're gone. He did warn me about this. I had never experienced it, and it only occurred on my very last lap. And if you look at the video where I get a little swirly there right at the end, I'm trying to shave that last few little points of a second off, and I came in way too hot into the last corner. I tapped on the brakes to scrub some speed, and the back end just starts to spin around. I was able to save it. Oh man, that snap oversteer. It was insane. I never experienced anything like that because one, this car doesn't have ABS, and two, it's so light in the rear, and three, it's front wheel drive. Whenever you tap on those brakes, those rear wheels are going to lock up and go spinning you off into oblivion. But I managed to stay out of oblivion. Even with that, this car is a blast. The body and suspension is so tight. I had mentioned this when we were driving on the street. It feels solid. It feels put together. That's all thanks to what Jonathan has done to this car to really make it a composed machine. It all feels so screwed together. It doesn't feel like there's a single loose bolt on the car. And the shifter, I want this shifter in every vehicle I have. You cannot miss a shift. Now, while I was ready to chalk up the lack of ABS into the sort of negatives column for this car, I realized it makes you a better driver because you have to plan out. It makes you more involved in the process. The way this car steers and the way that it drives, especially on the track, is so confidence-inspiring. While you might not have the greatest feel, it gives you a good response, gives you good action whenever you drive it. All in all, this Nissan Versa feels light and composed. This isn't what a Versa was meant to do. But when has that ever stopped anybody?